WVU said there have been several cases of sextortion on campus, but despite these cases, are lawmakers going to put a stop to it? I'm Aaron Dickens, and I'll have more on that story coming up.
I'm Laura Bonatesta, and straight ahead, I'll bring you to the Candlelight Vigil, where students and Morgantown residents are remembering the victims of two massive earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria last month.
I'm Kaylee Riccatelli. As most Americans are just starting to put away their dinner dishes, 3.5 million people across the country are sitting down for their first meal since sunrise. Coming up, I'll tell you how you can be mindful of those fasting this Ramadan. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
WVU has received 6 reports of sextortion since January. It's a form of blackmail that a bill in the legislature would have put a stop to. I'm Maggie Oliverio.
And I'm Catherine Brook. Earthquakes in Turkey and Syria have killed thousands of people. But here in Morgantown, the community has come together to help survivors.
These stories and more coming up on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
West Virginia's 2023 legislative session is over, and now people across the state are taking into account what has passed and failed.
That's right, Catherine. Our legislative reporter Aaron Dickens joins us now about one bill in particular.
Thanks, Maggie and Catherine. Members of the West Virginia Senate passed a bill earlier this year creating tougher penalties for certain kinds of blackmail. Senate Bill 140 would update the state's current extortion law, adding penalties for intimidating someone to perform sexual acts or threatening to publish intimate images of them. This type of blackmail is more commonly known as sextortion. The West Virginia Senate unanimously approved a bill in January that would have made it a felony, punishable with up to 10 years in prison and a maximum $5,000 fine. The bill sponsor, Senator Mike Wolfel, said it stemmed from a real-life incident where a college professor threatened to fail a student who refused to perform sexual favors, but members of the House never took it up. This was the second year in a row Democratic lawmakers have attempted to pass a bill making sextortion a felony, and the second year it's failed to make it through the legislative process. Catherine, Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. It's been more than a month since the devastating earthquakes hit Turkey and Syria, leaving more than 56,000 people dead.
According to the World Health Organization, as many as 23 million people have been impacted. More than 1 million of them are children. People across the globe are raising money to help. And recently on WVU's campus, a group of students and Morgantown residents gathered in remembrance of the lives lost.
Our Data Viz reporter Laura Bonatesta joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more. Laura?
Thanks, Maggie. Catherine. The earthquakes that hit southern Turkey and Syria on February 6th had magnitudes of 7.8 and 7.5. Leaving widespread damage across both countries. Aside from the lives lost, damages are estimated at more than $100 billion. And here at WVU, the Turkish Students Association is raising money to help from thousands of miles away. More than a dozen people gathered on WVU's campus this month for a candlelight vigil honoring the victims of two catastrophic earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria on February 6th. The earthquakes left more than 56,000 people dead and more than 25,000 with non-fatal injuries. Mustafa Cansunar is the president of the Turkish Student Association. He says he organized the vigil to represent those who lost their lives and to give his community a place to remember.
We are like international people and we exist in this campus and just we don't want to create a vibrant environment and make them not forgettable in these kind of natural disasters.
At the vigil, students, faculty, and Morgantown residents joined together to light candles, show their support, and raise awareness from far away.
There are a lot of people who lost their family members, their daughters, their sons, their grandfathers, their teachers, their friends, their neighbors. There is a psychological impact on that, on people who live there. Not to even mention their basic needs still need to be met.
Around the world, people are looking for ways to help. Billions of dollars have been donated, and here, the Turkish Student Association is doing what they can to add to that total. Since February, the association has raised and donated almost $3,000 to relief groups. These donations will go toward food, water, shelter, and medical aid for the 14 million people who are still in immediate need. Today, people in both Turkey and Syria are still in desperate need of humanitarian resources. For more information on where to donate, visit the Turkish Students Association on Instagram. Maggie, Catherine, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Laura. More than 1.5 billion people around the world are celebrating Islam's holiest month, Ramadan.
That's right, Catherine. Although less than 1% of West Virginians are Muslim, here in Morgantown, students and residents alike are taking the opportunity to teach the community about their faith traditions.
Kaylee Riccatelli joins us from Social Square to tell us more. Kaylee?
Thanks, Catherine. Maggie. During Ramadan, Muslims abstain from eating and drinking from sunrise to sunset. And in Morgantown, they're using the holy month to teach people of other faiths why.
Muslims believe Ramadan is when the Prophet Muhammad received the first verses of the Quran from God. To honor what is considered one of the most blessed months in Islam, they spend their days praying and giving charity on top of their day-to-day lives. Shahad Hanif, president of the Muslim Students Association at WVU, says her experience here has been welcoming.
The biggest thing that I've learned, especially as being so involved with the MSA, is that non-Muslims are very interested and very welcoming and accepting of our faith and our practices.
Fasting during Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, along with prayer, the proclamation of faith, charity, and a pilgrimage to the city of Mecca. Muslims observing Ramadan start their day before dawn with an energizing breakfast called suhoor. Then they break their fast after the sun sets with a bigger meal like this, called iftar. Islam is the 3rd largest religion in the United States, with 1.3% of the U.S. population being Muslim. Vajid Pathan, the director of religious affairs at the Islamic Center of Morgantown, says the meaning of Ramadan is twofold.
Ramadan is a physical and a spiritual journey. It's a physical journey in the sense where you are staying away from food and drink for the entire day. But at the same time, Muslims aren't just doing that to starve themselves, you know? We don't want to just stay hungry all day long. There's a deeper purpose behind that, and it's a spiritual fulfillment.
Ramadan ends with a celebration called Eid al-Fitr. Since it's based on the lunar cycle, Ramadan can last anywhere from 28 to 31 days. Islam is expected to be the 2nd largest religion in the U.S. by 2040, according to a report from the Pew Research Center. For more information on upcoming Ramadan events in Morgantown, you can find the Islamic Center and the Muslim Students Association on Instagram at the accounts listed at the bottom of your screen. Catherine and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Kaylee. Catherine, mosques across the state are holding community dinners during Ramadan that anyone can join.
I'll be looking for a chance to go here in Morgantown. After the break, the legacy of one former WVU football coach is living on in Morgantown through the next generation.
I'm Sean Loudermilk, and coming up on WVU Sports, a familiar name makes his transition from black and yellow to the gold and the blue to follow in his father's footsteps.
Coming up on WVU News, I'm Jaron McGann, and I'll tell you how Adventure WV and the Career Center are coming together to help students connect during the spring semester.
Maggie, April is an exciting month for WVU football fans as spring practices get underway.
That's right, Catherine, and the Mountaineers have made an important change in their coaching staff this offseason. Our sports reporter, Sean Loudermilk, is here to tell us more. Sean?
Thanks, Catherine. Maggie.
Neil Brown and the WVU football team parted ways with a few of their coaches following a disappointing 2022 season. After the shakeup in the coaching staff, WVU found themselves needing a new tight ends coach and looked no further than a name that some Mountaineer fans may recognize. On January 20th, 2023, West Virginia University announced the hiring of Blaine Stewart as the Mountaineers' new tight ends coach. Blaine is the son of the late former WVU head coach, Bill Stewart, who spent 11 years with the Mountaineers, including 3 seasons as the head coach. But current head coach Neil Brown says Stewart got this job based on his own merits.
When we started going in the direction of how we were going to organize, like multiple staff members brought me Blaine's name and said, hey, listen, this guy can coach. He's been with the Steelers for 5 years.
Stewart spent the last 2 years working as the assistant wide receivers coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers and was a coaching assistant for Mike Tomlin from 2018 to 2020. During his time with the Steelers, Blaine coached 3 Pro Bowl wide receivers and helped Pittsburgh capture an AFC North championship in 2020. Stewart is no stranger to Morgantown, playing football at Morgantown High School before playing collegiately at James Madison and the University of Charleston. Stewart says that he is ready to help produce a product that not only the university, but the state will be proud of.
When I pull in this parking lot, it brings back a lot of memories. So every day I'm appreciative, but right now we're just focused on spring ball, trying to get better as a team, offense, position group, all that.
Stewart will make the same man trip his father made this coming fall, but as for building his own legacy at WVU, he plans to leave no doubt.
Leave no doubt tonight! Leave no doubt tonight! No doubt!
Fans will have their first chance to catch Blaine Stewart's transition from black and yellow to the gold and the blue at WVU's spring game on April 22nd. Catherine, Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. An estimated 10 million Americans experience seasonal affective disorder, which is a type of depression that's linked to the amount of sunlight we're exposed to in fall and winter months.
Doctors say spending more time outdoors can make a difference.
2 organizations here at WVU are partnering on a program that gets students outside to help. Reporter Jared McGann explains.
44% of college students report experiencing symptoms of depression over the past year, but Adventure WV and the Career Center are working to change that at WVU. The 2 programs are offering opportunities for students to get outside, which tour guide Kirk Mitchell says can improve those feelings.
I think it can help a lot. I mean, it's really easy to get outside away from the city of Morgantown and just kind of forget about your classes or work or anything like that.
The Well-Being Series recently took students to WVU's very own Zipline Canopy Tour, where participants are hoisted 60 feet in the air. Here at West Virginia University's Outdoor Education Center, there are 4 different zip lines ranging from 200 to 1,000 feet long. Kelly Bailey, a psychologist at WVU, helped start the series. That is one of many ways the university is looking to help students.
Not only do we want students to benefit from having an outdoor experience with like-minded peers where they might be able to build community, but the midstream programming is also offering, hey, this is how you can talk to other students in distress.
Research shows outdoor activities like ziplining can help decrease feelings of anxiety and depression. Jared McGann, WVU News, Morgantown.
WVU has resources for more than just feelings of stress and anxiety.
That's right, Catherine. At the address listed at the bottom of your screen, students can access resources on body image, substance use, healthy relationships, and more.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. I'm Catherine Baruch.
And I'm Maggie Oliverio. You can visit us online on our website or watch our shows on YouTube.
And please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.